Welcome to Food Shrinks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Food Shrinks.
Hey,
Hi.
how is everybody?
Oh, well, today
Well,
I thought I could talk about, something that I'm really struggling with. And I'm sure maybe some listeners can also relate to this. Is I've just had a stream of terrible, awful things all outside of my control happen to me lately. And I am, one thing I found out that my new puppy is ill. I
oh
don't
my
know exactly
gosh.
the what's going to come of it. But for a week, I was pretty like, not sure whether he was going to live or die. It seems like it's not that, but something else. Recently, I found out my mom has like a reoccurrence of cancer. And, I was starting to get into this relationship. And then, there was something that happened there again, out of the control. And all of these things are out of my control, and I'm reaching out to the people I love. I'm telling people I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, or that like the things I know that actually help me. And it's like, how long are we supposed to tolerate this? And like, what do we do? Because all
Mm.
I do is I disassociate, then I get angry, and then I disassociate, and then I get angry. And it's harder because I also know all of this logically, right? I know from a therapist point of view what's happening. I have this noticing self as I'm like buying all these things for like nervous system regulation to like go into my room so I can just get all these cozy things and but like bunker down and go to bed at 6 and try to get
Mhm.
rest and try to get, do all those things. But it's like I just wake up every day and it's still heavy.
Oof. I'm so glad you're talking about this, first of all. I'm so glad I mean, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I think it's so important. I don't know. The real stuff, like, dirty truth is my love language. And also, I want to say, like, it's so hard to have an animal sick
Because
because
they can't like
they can't
say
like
what they
talk. I
need,
know.
or I know. And you just can't even be disappointed. And it was so interesting too. I even went to this place of like shame where I was like, oh, you could have picked the other one and the other one wouldn't have been sick.
Oh, I
It's
so
like,
get that. Oh, I so
yeah.
get that. Right. Like, you hear how crazy that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
I
good.
100% know. And that's the most fascinating thing is like, I feel like I have so much healing that I can see outside a lot of the things that I used to be in, but it's like the pain is just so much and it's been for so long that and all the ways that I used to escape, I don't do anymore.
So your food is like dead in
My
order.
food is
Good for
fine.
you, Clarissa.
Like I'm definitely watching more Netflix and I'm buying, like I said, I'm making a
Yeah.
nest in my bedroom, but I like, you know, um, I think it's like, yeah, how much emotional pain does one have capacity for?
Mm.
Right. And how do you show up and keep taking care of yourself using those new neural pathways, arguably newer, even if you've been in recovery from substance use disorder or eating disorder or abusive laxatives, or,
Yeah.
everybody has a
Yeah.
story. And how do you continue to like go to like how you'd rather it be, like that new pathway that can be so much harder to like remind ourselves that's where we want to be,
Well,
and how are
also,
you doing that?
I
Yeah.
think like something I think is so important to talk about like right now is like for a lot of people, like it's just a dark time. like it's just a dark, uncertain time. Right? And there's like this piece where I think I don't know, Claire's like, do you think that like obviously the Mollies are not gonna do this, but like has there been anybody that you've shared this with that's been like so uncomfortable with your pain that they've like tried to fix it? Because I think the thing that you're talking about, like so much of it's just like put on your wetsuit. Like, we gotta, like, this is just like how it, put on your wetsuit. Like, it's just gonna
Right.
be a
It's like,
rainy season. And for me, like, when people are like,
yeah,
oh, like, this too shall pass, like, oh, like, you're so strong. I'm like,
not
I'm gonna get
helpful.
violent. Like, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
violent if you can't just sit with me through
Mm.
this really dark time.
Yeah, and I think that is probably like I've had great people responding in really positive ways, checking in on me. And then like there's this other part of me that's just like also like I'm tired of people checking in on me. Like I just want normalcy. I just want to laugh. I just want to joke. Like I don't want to, it's funny. It feels like sometimes like I just don't want to be a victim anymore. And I know logically I'm not a victim of all this, but I guess I don't want to be the one struggling. I think that's also part of it.
But maybe that's like the acceptance piece. Or maybe that's where you're struggling with, like, the acceptance is like, I can't believe I'm like this high functioning, recovered therapist who's dealing with like relationship problems, like, like, I believe, I mean,
Yeah.
girl, spot it, you got it. But
Yeah.
like, I'm like, are you, and then like you'll sit in session with somebody and you'll be like able to help them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's nothing I can do about this.
I I know it's not even like
It
in
makes
a
me wanna
place
weep. Why
of
do I
like
always weep on
compassion.
this show?
Like I don't even I still and that's the crazy part is like you're still totally able to show up for your clients and like be present and all of that and then you finish, that's actually feels very fulfilling way to
Yeah.
like nourish me. But then as soon as I'm done work, you're just again left with it all.
Yeah.
Mhm. You know what's so interesting is we actually had so in group lately I have been taking the time to like go through skills and we actually practice skills as a group because I feel like, you know, people are like they want the education, they want the information, they want right like the things that
Yeah.
make them feel good or empowered.
Or they
But
wanna know
often
how to feel better
yeah, but they
instead
don't
necessarily
necessarily
what.
always give themselves permission to practice it. And so we've been practicing it. And then last night after group, so we have a WhatsApp chat that goes along with it. And all of a sudden there are these messages about like, does anybody else ever feel like low after group? And then,
Mhm.
then somebody else was like, yeah. And it's not because of what happened in group. It's because of now we're not in that
You're
connection
disconnected.
with those
Yeah.
people, right? We're not doing those things that you're saying that make us feel held or safe or, in company with, like, it's not as heavy of a burden, whatever it is we're quote struggling with or working on when we have these others. And I wonder if you're experiencing some of that too, when you're not with.
Yeah, well, I think for sure. And it's like and that's where it's hard. Like I'm literally just doing all the things that I know that help. And like one thing in front of the other, whether it's like my routine, my fitness, checking in with friends, letting people know what's going on. Um, but yeah, I do worry about like how long can you stay in a state of survival?
Mm.
Yeah. I ask myself that a lot too. And I'm like, well, I'm going on 41 years. So I mean,
No.
clock that.
You're so
You gotta have a little
young,
bit of dark
first of
humor
all. Let's
sometimes.
start
You have to have a little
there.
bit of dark
Let's
humor.
start there.
I
So
also think at the end of this, there's still this fear of me in me that's like, hey, I've been handling it. Like, what happens when I don't? What happens when, I like my biggest fear is a return to use with alcohol. And like how I know, go ahead, Mal.
no,
Me.
finish your thought.
Oh,
I don't
which
want to
mom?
interrupt you.
Yeah, no, it's like that is my biggest fear is like every time it's happened, it's been, I've been in a super dysregulated state. It's been an impulsive thing. It's now not been a planned thing. And so, yeah, I have some fear of my sobriety.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're talking about this. Like, and I don't know, like, I only know for me, this is like where like my faith really comes in, like this like kind of deep and unwavering faith. And not that everything is like all will be well, my definition of well may need to adjust, right? Like my definition of what, like, all will be well. Pain is the touchstone of all spiritual growth if we let it be. And I'm not saying you're not, I'm just saying what I know to be true for me.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like all will be well. Does that mean like, oh, like partner, money, that like no, like that's not like, then I will be miserable for the rest of my life, right? Because there's this prayer. I really love it. I mean, I hate it. I hate it so much, but I also kind of like love it. And it says like, help me to want what I have and not have what I want. And I don't know, like in the I've had shattered times. Obviously, I've like shared them on the show, but like shattered. Like I didn't think I'd come up from it. And like all I know is that the other side of that, because I'm not in this with you, I was a few weeks ago. It's like all will be well for me has been like, I'm such a different compassionate person from having been through all that pain. I mean, I used to just be so judgmental and think everybody should get over it. I think there's even like in the last 3 years, I would not have been able to tolerate listening to you. I'd have been like, oh, Clarissa. But that's just a mirror. That's a Molly mirror, right? That's not about Clarissa.
Yeah.
It's like a really I just just, yeah, like I've just become a really different person. All is well. Even though, I don't know, also things are really hard right now for so many people. There's so
Mhm.
much I think there's also this thing we're not talking about, which is this global unrest of like, what's gonna
What's
happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What, and like you're an empath.
hypervigilance even, right? Is like, because it's like I can't take one more thing and it just
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think like that's what, like, I think everybody listening, because I think this is common in eating disorders. I think almost all of you and all of us are empathic, right? Which means the energy of the room impacts us. And
Mhm.
the energy of the global room right now, whether or not, whatever side you're on of it, whatever you think you know, if you're empathic, this thing is like, if you're like, I don't know why I'm binging. I don't know why I
Mhm.
ate those cookies.
Mm.
You could chalk it up to the energy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's
But can we
hard.
talk about, I mean, I think the
About
thing that
everything.
I wanted to ask about and not interrupt you is that important piece of the fear of quote failure, the fear of
Mm.
returning to use, of recurrence of those things. And I think that's an important piece here is that I think, there are a lot of people who have that in the back of their mind of like,
Right.
I want to do anything and everything to like make it through to today. And I also don't want to go and do those things that I'm working so hard not to do. And my fear is that's where I'm going. And something that I've always thought about is like when I'm working with clients and I think, okay, or I give the example of like when you were a kid and you were riding your bike or you were first learning to ride your bike, you're looking at the tire in front of you or the ground right in front of you. I mean, it's watch a small child learn how to ride a bike. That's what they're doing, or at least they did. Now they've got, Strider bikes and whatever else. So kids are learning a totally different way than we ever did. But one of
Word.
the things that I remember is thinking, don't hit the parked car, don't hit the parked car, don't hit the
Oh
parked
God, I
car.
remember
And then
that.
I
Yeah.
ran right into the parked car. Right. And so like I guess something that I want to like throw out there is that like where we put our attention is where our energy flows. That's like where our actions flow. That's where our time and whatever flow. And so, what would you rather have happen instead of this fear of like, I don't want to like return to use, I don't want to get back into the alcohol, the pills, whatever it might be. How would you rather it go? What would you rather do to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself sane, to just feel okay?
Mhm. Can I also
Yeah.
just add one more thing to that,
Yeah.
which is like, maybe this is the most, like, I was just thinking about bulimia, like, and how when somebody is bulimic for like over 5 years, usually the data says that they don't have like full remission, right? But that doesn't mean that they can't have like close to full remission and that they don't have just like an episode here and an episode there. Like, I don't know, there's a part of me it's like, I don't like, hopefully never like, okay, so you have another recurrence. Like, okay. I
Yeah,
know
but
I
for
don't want it
me,
happening either.
yeah.
But like, I get all,
Yeah.
but like, but like, don't you think there's a part where it's like, if we're putting it up on this never, oh my God, I can't pedestal, that we're sort of like, I don't know, like, I'd love you
Right.
still.
No,
I'd
I
love you
see.
more,
I
maybe.
I do. I actually really appreciate that point of view too, because you're right. It's me that like has this fear because I also have this shame.
Yeah, that's the word I was thinking.
That's what it is. It's like, because what does that mean about me? It's certainly like if I decided that I wanted to do this, drink again, I could do it in a safe way and like, make sure that nothing bad would happen. Now that's not at all what I want to do. But yeah, I
Of
think
course
it's the
not.
thing
Yeah.
of like, yeah, if that were to happen again, um yeah, and there is still like, I don't, like, I know when I would be at a high risk. I like to think I would know when I'm at a high risk, and I don't know that I'm there yet. um and I think
Think,
there's lots of things I could do before
of
I.
course. But when we're putting this, like, but I can't return to use, then you can't have a 1 to 10 assessment. Like, I don't know. Like, listen, all I know personally, like, I don't know Schmidt, I don't know Schmidt. And like, I don't know. Like, maybe I just wonder if I can help you personally, like to just de-shame that. Cause I think maybe de-shaming
Yeah,
that lessens its possibility of happening,
it
This is
is.
true harm reduction, guys, right?
Because
Like,
again, it's this idea that like whatever you do, you can't do that, right? Rather
well,
than saying, like, I.
But you could. I mean, wait a minute.
and
But
we
if we
and we
played
love
with
you,
that,
and
but
we'd
if we
love you. We'd
played
be
with that as,
concerned, but we'd
yeah,
love
but what if
you.
we played with that is an option on the table,
Right.
give you your choice back?
There you go.
Mhm. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. The story I'm telling myself is whatever you do, you can't do that,
Right.
because of the shame. And it may not actually be helpful to have that story that actually, like, you're right, it might actually be amplifying this desire for, because it's the one thing you can't do. Uh,
Right. So we say to the clients, right? I'm like, I don't know. Shoot
exactly.
sugar again, we'll figure it
Exactly.
out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, where it's like, if you, like you just said, you could go drink. I was like, well, I don't want to do that.
Right.
You knew right away, didn't you?
When you say it like that,
You were
Molly.
like, yeah,
But
no.
isn't it funny? Because we brought choice back. Like,
I
and what you're
know.
feeling right now, what you're magnetized to is all of the things that are out of your control
Yeah,
environmentally, within the relationships, with the puppy, a puppy. I had
yeah,
a sick puppy. It nearly took me out, I swear.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. This has been actually really helpful. Yeah, you guys are pretty good at what you do.
Well, can I just say how impressed it's not your first language to come to food shrinks and put your
No,
little
it's not
vulnerability out there,
any of
queen.
my language. It's my last language. So
Somebody's
yeah,
having a window of tolerance expansion.
I appreciate you both so much for this. It has meant a lot to me.
We love you.
Love you.
Hey,
Yeah.
also, I mean, I'm here too. I know it's like you and Molly. I'm othering now, but I'm here too. Who's
Totally.
othering on foods? It's the funniest thing about being in a trio. No, I'm here. I'm here. I get it. And we all get it. And we'll get through this. I don't know how we're all going to get through this. I just know that we are. We're not
Yeah.
going to have a breaking point.
Yeah.
Yikes. Hey, gang, listening. We need your help. While we're helping Clarissa, we need your help. And we need your help because we need to know who's listening. We're going to try to like make this into a big part of our job. And the only way we can do that is if you start following us, if you start sharing our podcast, if you start rating it. please, 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 please. We love doing this. We just can't do it for free. So we need your help. It's like an easy thing. It's a click. We're asking for a click. We're asking for a line. That's all we're asking for. And for a share, because the more, the merrier. The more, the merrier. And I actually know the website today, which I'm really excited about because we always want to answer your questions. So it is Ask the Shrinks, Ask the Shrinks at foodshrinks.com.
Woohoo!
It's a big day. It's a big
It
day.
is a big day.
Clarissa's vulnerability, me knowing the email, like just a huge day on Food Shrinks. That's all we can say.
It's
And
all
we will see you all next week. And we love you so much. And we love you, Clarissa.
Thanks for listening to Food Shrinks. Quick reminder, this podcast isn't a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for guidance suited to your needs. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach others on the recovery journey. Take care and remember, freedom with food is possible. See you next time.